So the reviews are in for The Last of Us 2, and well guys, it looks like Naughty Dog have pulled off another masterpiece, with many saying it's the best PlayStation 4 exclusive and a fitting way to close out this generation of console gaming. Sounds much like its predecessor then. 44 perfect scores in total from various outlets, including a 10 out of 10 from IGN, insert bad joke here, and a score of 96 out of 100 on Metacritic. The only two games to score higher on Metacritic this generation were the two Rockstar games Red Dead 2 and GTA 5 with a score of 97. Taking into account they are cross-platform of course. If you really want to get in-depth with that Metacritic score of 96, as it stands it would make it the 23rd best reviewed game in all of gaming history since the beginning of time, alongside the likes of the original Half-Life and Skyrim. You only have to see this picture, which reminds me a lot of the picture that summarised the original game, to get an overview of what reviewers think of it. So it's quite evident it's going to be epic. But what have some of these outlets actually said about the game? Well, let's take a look. First off, there's IGN, which summarised it here with The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece that evolves the gameplay, cinematic storytelling, and rich world design of the original in nearly every way. Nice. Then we have Games Radar here, another 10 out of 10. Naughty Dog's PS4 Swan Song is an astonishing, absurdly ambitious epic that goes far beyond what we could have imagined for a sequel to an all-time classic. I particularly quite like the one of EGM here, they summarise it up brilliantly well, 10 out of 10 again. Whether or not you consider The Last of Us Part 2 to be a worthwhile continuation of Joel and his story, there's no doubt that Naughty Dog has crafted a sequel that's every bit as ambitious and well considered as the original, with quite possibly the best stealth action gameplay realised to date. That is a good summary, folks. If you want it summed up nice, short and sweet, then the one from the Daily Star is one I particularly like, which simply just says, this is a game that's going to be talked about for a long time to come, with good reason, a masterpiece. Again, with all these reviews I really get the vibe with the original Last of Us. But now you might be thinking, that's all great, but has anyone actually been criticising the game? Well yeah, there's two reviews here from Kotaku and Polygon which particularly criticise it for reasons I'm not really a fan of, but I will read them out. Kotaku, I think that's how you say it, I'm not too sure, you'd have to help me out on that one. They went on to say, it's a visually beautiful game that feels distinct to play, and the story it tells and how it tells it at the most basic level certainly pushes the edges of what games have done before. None of those accomplishments elevated or redeemed it for me, like the nature consuming Seattle or the outbreak consuming humanity. Its ugliness overshadowed everything else. Now we go to Polygon, which seemed to scathe it the most. They went on to say, The Last of Us Part 2 depicts individual people who are instead ruthless, capable, yet self-absorbed, and whose perception of violence is limited to how it affects them and their chosen family members. They are almost unbelievably unable to see the bigger picture. Part 2 ends up feeling needlessly bleak at the time where what does that word even mean? Worldview has perhaps never been less attractive. Its characters are surviving, but they're not learning, and they're certainly not making anything better. Those kind of reviews, to be fair, are very, trust me, very few and far between. I think by now you get the overall picture. To me, it's all a bit like deja vu when it comes to how the original was reviewed. It's all very similar how this one's reviewed, what with the story, the characters, the combat and the world. They're all being hailed the same way as the predecessor was. So for me, this now eliminates all the doubt that I may have had. Yes, I wanted the second game to be made, but I always had my concerns whether they could actually live up to the first game. And after seeing the reviews, you better believe now that my hype level has hit 100, because now I'm certain that yet again we are in for another emotional roller coaster, story-driven masterpiece. I lost countless hours playing the original, completed many playthroughs, got the platinum trophy, did everything that you could possibly do. It looks like on June 19th, 2020, I'll be doing that all over again with Part 2. And the best thing about Part 2, well, it's roughly said to be about 25 to 30 hours long, which makes it pretty much double in terms of length compared to what the original game was in its size. My body is ready. If you enjoyed, then please be sure to smash a like and subscribe. There'll be plenty more Last of Us related content on this channel over the next few weeks, including me showing off my collection of all my Last of Us goodies, and trust me, I've got a big collection, and I will also be doing a playthrough of the game, most probably on this channel, for all of you out there that are unfortunate enough not to experience it yourself. So until next time guys, I look forward to seeing you. Peace!